Good afternoon. Welcome to All About Animals. I'm Sherry Graditor, and my guest today is Sheri Berliner. Sherry, you have a pet photography company. What is its name?
Petraits Pet Photography.
Okay, and you are in the city.
I am.
Though, do you come out of the city to photograph pets, or do you have pets come to you, or how do you work it?
I do a little bit of both. I do have a studio in Andersonville, which is in Chicago, and I also make house calls.
Okay.
And some people prefer to meet in a park or on the beach.
Well, sometimes the animal is happier than it is in a strange place. Then again, sometimes a strange place will subdue an animal that's overly rambunctious, which
Exactly.
works too. And you take photographs for humane organizations or a humane organization, I'm not quite sure which, to put online. Is that what you do?
I do. I work for a number of rescue organizations and shelters, and also individuals who, for whatever reason comes up in their life, they no longer can keep their pet. Whether it's a rat or a hermit crab or a dog or a cat, they'll bring the pet in, I'll take some pictures, and we'll write up an honest biography and get the word out.
How do you make a hermit crab look lovely? Gotta be some talent there.
Yeah, not my kind of pet, but someone adopted it, so.
Oh yeah, well they're very cute in their own way, but nonetheless. We're gonna go away from that, folks. Not where I want to go. How did you get started photographing pets?
It was kind of a combination of all my loves. I love photography. I've always had a camera ever since my dad bought one for me. I think it was my 13th birthday. And I've always loved animals. It's just something that, I don't know, clicked in me. So I went to school for photojournalism and worked in the corporate setting for a number of years, and then kind of fell back into photography and pets. And now that's what I do full time.
What's different between photographing a person and photographing a dog, a cat, or a hermit crab?
Animals are not self-conscious. People look in the mirror. Is my hair okay? Do I need more makeup? Is this outfit okay? Should I change? Do I need a sweater, a coat? And animals are just like, just feed
You got
me.
it right here.
You can make noises. You could be silly and they don't mind.
Yeah, and you just made a funny noise, and Sherry decided you were very silly, I think. Okay, here's the thing. Is there a special way you have of dealing with animals?
It really depends on the pet. I work in a number of fashions, whether it's whatever appeals to them. With dogs, it's either a visual thing, so I can have a toy, or if they respond to food or noises. I have a whole repertoire of different things that just sort of come out when I try to get their attention. Mm-hmm. And cats, it's either a visual thing, or sometimes they just prefer food, or sometimes you just got to hold them down.
I would imagine one of those feather things, and you get them up doing one of these.
Exactly.
Very, very cool.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah, the active kitties. Mm-hmm. But then the older cat, the quiet cat, the lap cat, there's something so endearing about them. Mm-hmm. So do you go more for appearance, and I don't even know how to say this, or personality when you're doing an animal's portrait?
I guess I almost said personality, but it's a little bit of both. You want them to be beautiful, but you also want to capture who they are. So if it's an elderly animal and someone wants to hold them in their arms like a little baby and look at them, it's more of a touching pose. If it's a kitten, it could be like flying up
Off
in the air.
The wall.
And that is its personality.
And how long have you been working with humane organizations, and who do you work with?
I started in, I guess, about 94, 95. I used to volunteer at a shelter, and their policy was you can't bring a camera in. I think they thought you were going to capture something, behind the scenes that they didn't want to show. And then the internet came around, and everyone wanted beautiful photos of their pets to showcase how nice they look without the cage and the bars in front of them. And so the organizations started contacting me because I was not only a photographer, but I also just loved pets and wanted to help them find homes. And it just grew exponentially over the last years.
Because I was looking on a website. Do you remember what website that was where I saw the bunnies?
Could have been Pet Finder,
No,
Adopt a Pet, Rescue Me.
I think I believe it was Rescue Me, which was one that I hadn't even been aware was in existence. There are, God, how many websites are there now?
There are a lot of websites, and I've tried them all, and I've gotten leads. People look at different websites depending on what comes up in their searches, and if I've never had a response from anyone from a certain website, I stop posting to it. But now I post every animal that I photograph to Pet Finder, Adopt a Pet, Rescue Me. I also put them on the Chicago Tribune site and also on Facebook, and have had friends and family see the photos there and get excited and adopt them.
Yeah, have you any idea how many of the animals that you put on? See, when I say that we've had close to 14,000 adoptions through this show, which is, it's an estimate number based on the number of animals we've shown and the percentage that generally get adopted while the show is running. It's the best guess I can make. And it's in no way an exact, we just hope it's accurate. Have you any idea? Do you get any feedback at all?
I get a lot of feedback because I post them on my websites, and when they're adopted, I have to take them off. So sometimes they'll be adopted in a day, or sometimes it'll take a week or a month or months, depending on
how adoptable?
How adoptable, medical issues, or personality traits. Some just fly off the shelf, and others need
some of them are really hard. Some of them are really hard.
They really are.
We did one today for the show, and he is a large mixed breed, and he's 10 years old. And he's as sweet a dog as you'd ever want to be around, and he happens to be drop dead gorgeous. But he's 10 years old. And so he keeps getting passed over, which is terribly sad. So I know that sometimes when you put them on, it's not easy to get them out. Right. But at least with you, you know. Yeah.
It's very gratifying to know.
And I would bet that your percentage of adoptions is pretty high.
I like to think so.
Yeah. Well, you would know, because you know how many of them you take and how many of them you take off. So it would sound to me like your percentage of adoptions is high. This is a terrific tool for people who are trying to place an animal. I'm very excited by it. I'm excited for two reasons. I think that having a portrait of a pet is a wonderful thing as a professional portrait. I know that I have lost animals that I have pictures that I've taken of them, but every once in a while I kind of hoped that I had done something other than that, which I never did. It would have been nice. So having portraits of your animal, your dog, your cat, your hermit crab, I'm not going to let you forget the hermit crab, I promise, is a neat thing to do. But this concept of animals that need homes and the power of the internet to reach into all of the places that it reaches is so dynamic and so wonderful. And I think you're awfully neat for getting involved. I mean, I would imagine that a major portion of your time, or at least a significant portion of your time, is spent on humane work. Is it?
Yeah, it's my passion. It's very important to me.
Yeah, and you're doing such a beautiful job of it. We will be showing through this program at some point, we'll be showing some pictures that you've taken of animals that either needed homes or still need homes. I don't know what you brought me, but we will be cutting some of them in because the pictures are beautiful. And heck, I look at the pictures and I want them all. Yeah, I'll take every one of them home with me because they are wonderful. I mean, you've got stuff here.
This is all the animals. I also foster, so I have the animals in my home. So these are all the ones that graced my home last year.
Wow.
And it just shows me how possible it is to adopt out just about anything. There's, as they say, a lid for every pot. And all these animals, from a racing pigeon to these little guinea pigs, and they all found homes. Old cats, young cats, kittens, seniors.
How do you decide what you're going to foster?
It hits me at that particular time, whether I have the room and the energy.
Energy is a big piece of it.
It is.
And we are running out of time. So would you give people your name, the company name, a phone number they could reach you at, and a website?
I'd be happy to. It's Sheri Berliner, Petraits Pet Photography. You can see my work at petraits.com. And that links to an adoption site, and you could reach me at 773-777-2891.
Thank you so much for coming out. I really, really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And we will now take you to Save a Pet and show you some of those wonderful dogs and cats that we taped today that are all needing homes.